All right, let's get the show on the road. It's a little bit earlier than I normally go live, but I actually wanted to go on as soon as I woke up, but um, I had like the worst headache. I had to make some coffee, take a couple bingers, and then kind of let the sun come up a little bit. I missed my morning walk. My wife's going to be pissed because she's texting me. She's like, "What are you doing?" So let's see if she waits for me or I told her just to go, but we'll see. But I do have my coffee. Might have put too much creamer in that. Nadia, good morning. Jill, good to see you. Tambi, good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Hey, Eminem. Sensei Wackadoodle. It's a funny name. Oh, she's going to go get breakfast and then go on a walk with me after. That's why I love her. Perfect. What's up, Wonder Girl? Seeing some new names. Yes, Jacqueline, my weather did get colder. Says we got about 80 folks in here. Good to see you, Jules. Good to see Jill, as always. Miss Mala says, they've been so secretive the whole time. I was getting suspicious about possible law enforcement corruption. Well, when they don't give you facts, we're only left with speculation. You know? And then you got flip-floppers. You got people that were like, I told you social media was involved. And then the second they clear Kagan Klein of any involvement in the murder, they're going to be like, see, I told you there was no social media involvement. And most people didn't have the balls to theorize, because they didn't want to be wrong. And now they're theorizing now that they have somebody in freaking custody. Oh, well. It's a finicky thing. Hey, Moon Crystal, good to see you. Big Ruckus. Hey, Ruckus Rocks Truth Crime Podcast. You switching it up, man? You gonna jump up on the interwebs here? What's going on? Can we do a shameless plug for you? Yeah, Ruckus is ex-law enforcement. I haven't checked his credentials, but we're still going walking, Glenn. We can't miss our walk. We both work from home, so it's like we gotta stay fit and active. I was gonna go golfing this morning, but my guy never hit me back. See, he's single, so you never know with him after a Friday night. Who knows what that dude was up to? Tam B with the large super chat donation. Wow. Thank you so much. The support I've been getting on my channel is phenomenal. We're making ad revenue. We're getting donations. We did a big giveaway the other day. Like that came right out of our pocket, It's good. It's nice to be able to do that. I'm very curious to see what this channel will look like in 1 year. I'd like to be able to travel. I'd like to be able to I don't know if you checked out the mob crew over there with Chris. This dude goes out with his drone and he's like taking all these, he'll travel and he'll take all these amazing images with his drone. I get so jealous when I see that. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is try to invest in a drone. I have a feeling my wife might be getting me one for Christmas. We'll see. I put out a couple hints, but I think I've been putting out more hints to a new office chair. This one's kind of had it. I don't know if you guys can hear it kind of squeaky too. But yeah, I really like what those guys do, how they get out there. They were, I think it was the Dealing Rounds case. He was out there with his drone and he was checking out abandoned mines and stuff. Like that stuff seems like a lot of like hands-on, boots on the ground kind of stuff. That's what it's all about. Hey, Brown Skittle, good to see you. Joseph B, what's up? 73 today in central New York. That's unheard of. That's California weather, man. Oh, you guys better go and start surfing next. What's up, Amy? Haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, Silent. AR-15 guy, what's up? I got a PSA 10.5 AR pistol. Highly recommend that. Nothing is off the table for me. I agree, Heather. Lynn, what's up? Yeah, it was first called the Snapchat murders. And then you have people like Gray Hughes, who was like, I'm telling you guys, law enforcement has said there's no social media. And then here comes Kagan Klein. It's like pulling you one way, pulling you this way. Then you got your subscribers are like, you said there was no social media. It's like you gotta be careful. You can't say anything. And that's why you have the sleuth man over here, because I say whatever the fuck I want. You will not influence me. People have already tried. Love dogs, books, and pizza. Morning, Sleuth and chat. Thanks for all your videos, Sleuth. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Yep, I'm addicted to my YouTube channel, so I don't think I'm going anywhere, especially when I have enablers like my wife at home. What's up, Brain Dancer? I love the Indiana law enforcement. I am happy they got the guy. I mean, technically the case isn't closed. I mean, so there's a lot to cover, a lot we still don't know, unfortunately. Like I said, one of my greatest fears is in that probable cause affidavit. It's just going to show that law enforcement had no clue. It was all happenstance or happen chance, or just some random sequence of events that led him to this killer, nothing to do with police investigative work. That's my only fear. Because right now people are, oh, you got to trust the process, trust law enforcement, and they know what they're doing. Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know if they know what they're doing. We don't know if we should be trusting them. Jakarta said, we got our man. So it seems like anything after that point is all political. Well, you would know, you're my only fan. Bill. He's the only one that signed up so far. Swear a bit about the grandmother. Her energy level is very high. They should shield her from the media. She also would need therapy to support the grief process. Yeah, I wonder if they've even had a chance to grieve properly. They've been going so full force, especially Mike Batty. That he's still a tank. Yeah, Jules. Originally, there was a lot of talk about the Snapchat images that were put out right before the murders. Yeah, thank you again, Tamby. That was awesome. Thank you, Jules. Just not computer savvy enough to join membership. I'm subscribed, but the membership, how do I do that? Thanks for not laughing. If you really want to join members, or if you're just trying to support, participating in the chat, leaving comments, liking, subscribing, that stuff really helps too. But if you want to become a members, and we're pretty active in the members area as well, I would check out the description of this video. I think I have it automatically put in there where it puts the membership info. So go into the description of this video, click that link, and then select join, and you should be able to join with us. Then you can join the Sleuth Secret Society. Bum bum bum. Illuminati confirmed. February, Delphi drone, you said you might go. I said if I did go, it would be in February. If you're going to quote me, at least quote me correctly, please. Good day, everyone. What's up, Y? Ooh, nice. I've never built one before. I'm not that savvy when it comes to those pistols or rifles in general. Hey, Rhonda, rain and windy, huh? What are the potential routes that Alan walked to the bridge? It's a good question. Maybe he didn't walk. Maybe he drove. There was rumors that there was somebody seen on a bike. Was it his lunch hour? Do any of his coworkers know if he came right back to work that day? Or did he fill Greg Mass's checkbox list? You know, did he go out to lunch and didn't come back for whatever reason? Did he not show up to work that day? He said he was sick. Come to find out, maybe that was a lie. You know, the FBI told us what to look for. They laid it out for us. So I'm wondering if they're protecting a witness, you know, maybe giving them the opportunity to get into some type of protective custody, or get away from maybe other family members that might retaliate. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If they don't give us the facts, we're just here to speculate. So sometimes it gets frustrating. Let me pull up some maps that I did have. I don't know what I did with them. Oh, here we go. Well, I guess we can start that conversation with this little video I made. Okay, now the bridge is going to be right to the top center here. See it? Right there to the right of the screen. Okay, now the chopper is going to pan over to Richard Allen's neighborhood, which is also the neighborhood where that church they just did the press conferences in, and I believe also it's next to the high school. Okay. So basically, if you actually, I think I have an image of this. Let me pull that up. Might be easier. Okay. So do you guys see this strange path? I don't know if this was created by farmers, but oddly enough, it's right next to the underpass or the overpass. I'm sorry. So the overpass is right here, and the creek continues on this way. And right in here somewhere is where Richard Allen lives. So if he was on foot, it'd be very easy for him to jump onto the private drive here, walk all the way over here, and then somewhere in this area start to head this direction. And he could easily just walk home. He doesn't need to zigzag in and out through here. He just needs to make it underneath this overpass, possibly even looking like a hitchhiker, maybe somewhere in this area, and just walked home. You know, like him and Tony, or him and the accomplice, or whoever. If there's a connection with Keegan, both of them could have took off this way, leaving the passenger just sitting there, twiddling his thumbs until 5 p.m. Like, what the hell? Where are these guys? And then eventually it's like, hey, you need to come to Marathon gas station and get my ass. Just thinking out loud. But we can pull up a couple maps, and then we'll move on from that question. All right. So up here to the top right is going to be the Monon High Bridge trail system and bridge and cemetery. This entire area up on the right hand side. Now he's staying somewhere over here on this corner, somewhere down in here. So he could have gone under either one of these overpasses and then just walked straight through this field. Yeah, really, the only thing that's connecting it, Richard Allen, in my opinion, to Kagan Klein would be the Marathon gas station, and that's not even verified information at this point, so I don't know. Don't know. Right? That's true. That is so true, Vanessa. You guys are all enablers. Oh, I saw that, Jules. I think they played it on another channel before. Like, that's where I first seen it. Might have been on Criming Shame. I've been trying on my phone. Thanks for your kindness. Yeah, very hush. Yeah, Kelsey seems to be going through the process a little better. Maybe the stages of anger, there's certain stages of mourning and that you're supposed to go through. Yeah. Well, the only reason that whole thought is kind of scary is because right now they're telling us, "Hey, you need to trust law enforcement," and they're not giving people information that should be granted to them. They just served a search warrant and took a guy into custody and called him a murderer. And for 5 years, it's been a mystery. And when apparently they got the guy that did it, they're not going to give the public information. Law enforcement didn't wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, I'm just going to go work on the Delphi case, out of the goodness of my heart." No, they woke up, they clocked in from taxpayer money and said, "I'm going to go now. It's my duty and my job to go work the Delphi case for the public." See, a lot of people lose the grasp on that, what public information is. United States is still a country that's ran by the people and represented by the government, not the other way around. I haven't seen any other cases of that. I looked. Hey, Sasha. Well, they said they were really small books, so I don't know what that means. To me, I was thinking maybe photo books, small photo albums, but they could have been some type of literature for maybe maybe relating to the occult, maybe, or even maybe to some group. Sometimes when you go to these groups, like these secretive groups, they'll give you little pamphlets and shit. Yeah, Watson, 100%. Watson's puzzle says, "I'm very curious how the arrest came about. He was right under their noses for almost 6 years. Why now?" I mean, we have video from him in 2018 wearing what looks to be the same blue coat, and he's running around with knives and shit. So, I mean, how obvious can it be? And you hear he has a really strange voice. He sounds like the freaking bridge guy. You know, it's like an Indiana twang, but it's not quite. I don't know. You can't really put your finger on it. But when you hear his voice, man. Matter of fact, I think I have that. I shared it with my members. I don't think I put it up on my channel yet, but I do have a voice comparison. Oh, here it is. I'll make it public today. Wonder Girl says the evidence from the river search gave them Allen. Kagan's word was not enough, was not good enough. I mean, the timing on it all. The only part that throws me off with the timing is the whole political motivation of it all. It kind of matches with the political cycle as well. But I mean, for Kagan just to be so confident and to be talking to all these people publicly, talking to another YouTube creator, like all this sick stuff that's going on, right? Just extreme confidence, like knowing that he didn't do it and that he gave them something that might actually be helpful and he got a prize for it. So not only is he confident, he's also feeling like he has the upper hand, maybe, because he knows what happens. He knows that he had no prior knowledge. Maybe he didn't even really know after the fact, until like a few days later. I'm not sure. I really want those answers. Yeah, he's a scary guy, especially because he seems like the type of dude that you wouldn't really be afraid of. Even if you're walking on the path, you're like, oh, this guy ain't gonna do nothing. Yep. More people out there trying to dig up information, the better. Yeah, that Manson case was crazy. Yeah, that might be the only one to top it. The way they went on a murder spree like that. But when I'm talking about like the totality of it all, like the way it evolves, and every year it's just crazier and crazier. Even when they catch the guy, we still just cannot like escape the puzzle and the mystery of it all. It's so annoying. It's driving me crazy.
Cable snap.
Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up.
Can you guys hear that?
There's the word chart coming up. Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up. Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up.
Yes, Nia. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Jessica.
Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up. 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 Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up.
Yeah, for all we know, I mean, they could have planned this the night before. I mean, who knows? Maybe somehow Richard Allen and Tony Klein and Kagan Klein, all those guys were hanging out the night before. And in on that night, something could have happened where they panicked. Oh, I showed my face, or I tried to meet the girls, or maybe they were in Delphi. Maybe they're all hanging out with him. Who knows? But if Bart says that Tony Klein was taking him down there near the bridge to go fishing, what are the odds that him and this Richard guy are connected somehow? This Richard guy's doesn't seem like he's like a Facebook type of guy. He might be on social media secretively, but he seems more like a, hey, give me a call type of guy. Like if you were to get Tony Klein's phone, you might have him in there on the phone. To maybe they go hunting down there, fishing. So if they're coming up with an idea, what if it was Richard's idea to say, hey, just tell him to meet us over there at that bridge on the south end, and then we'll take him down to that spot we always go to or whatever. Maybe they plan this together. Why keep it sealed? Are you protecting a witness? Is there somebody else that you need to arrest? Maybe they want him to confess. Because imagine if he would just confess and admit who this other person is, then they could wrap it all up. But he's not really being cooperative.
Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up. Cable snap. There's the word chart coming up. Cable snapped.
Michael Catt, when he got stuck on the Thomas Bruce character, if you think about it, Thomas Bruce, that profile is almost identical to this guy. So, I mean, if he wouldn't have got stuck on that one POI, he may have been able to narrow it down. Because I mean, he was right on track with with Thomas Jerome Bruce. Never been charged with the crime, family man, hiding in plain sight. Um, Only strikes like when he has his beer goggles on. So just want to point that out.
There's the word shark coming up. Cable snapped. There's the word shark coming up. Cable snapped. There's the word shark coming up.
It's pretty close. I even had a thought not too long ago that maybe Libby threw the phone at him. I could see somebody doing that out of fear, like you're filming, then all of a sudden you realize that this is a predator, and just maybe out of self-defense try to hit the guy with the phone quickly and then take off running. When he gets in prison, 6 to 8, 3, Tyrone will straighten out his ass. Oh man. Hell on earth for him. I still cannot understand why Kagan would put himself at the bridge area that day if there wasn't something to his story, despite him being a liar. Well, the only thing I can think of is that he knew that he was innocent and he was chasing clout. Or he already knew that that law enforcement had found what they were looking for, and law enforcement was able to prove now that he was not involved. So there goes his confidence, and then the lies start to spread. Or it could just be the truth. He could still be very well connected to all of this. I mean, he could still be a passenger, Tony the driver, and Richard Allen a passenger. Maybe he doesn't want them knowing where he lives. Hey, we need to quote unquote shut these potential witnesses that could put us away. We need to keep them quiet. You know what I mean? And maybe he's responsible for the whole ski mask incident. They could have been completely paranoid about something. Stas 211-386 says probable cause needs to be released. It is public information. It is concerning that the police can remove someone from their home without letting the public know why. It is extremely concerning. It's scary, and they better have a good reason. Abby 4225, thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Me too, Moon Crystal. And that's another thing that's going to piss me off, because this whole time, they've been basically pointing at this man, Tony Klein. And that's why I've said this entire time, there's nothing pointing at him. We have no solid information to point at Tony Klein other than the murder sheet trying to make it appear that law enforcement is interested in him. But there's really never been anything tying it to him. We just know that when we think about the person who may have committed this and we think about his past, the stories of him smashing people through toilets, biting his wife and punching her in the face, and all of this crazy stuff, we start to think, well, he's definitely capable, But for law enforcement to just recklessly allow people, to assume that they caught the guy, And then it may be this other guy that lived with him. All this crazy stuff. It needs to be true. They can't just not answer for all that, especially if they had no clue that it was this Richard guy. Now, if this was all part of the investigation, bravo. You know, congratulations to you and your team. Because otherwise, you just wasted so much time, so much taxpayer money, so much energy and time and manpower chasing somebody that had nothing to do with it. All right. Thank you, Abby. Hey, what's up, Tom? With the super chat. Hope everyone is having an awesome Saturday. Football and barbecue on the plans for today. I think the Lori Daybell is the craziest, but this one is up there. Yeah. I wanted to go live today, but I didn't want to interrupt anything. Oh yeah, also stalking stalking women. Yeah, it just seemed like he was extremely capable. So you got this guy catfishing Libby, talked to her the day of. The person that introduced her, a 1 week to the day is basically attacked by a guy in a ski mask, or there's a guy in a ski mask at her home after talking to Anthony Schatz. I mean, is this all bullshit? Or, I mean, how is it possible that this is all going on? It's almost like the real story has to be that Richard Allen is the other Anthony Schatz guy, right? That all of the information we've been receiving is all correct, and somehow it ties together. And to me, meeting at the Marathon gas station right by Richard's house, Kagan admitting to being a passenger. I can see them driving and parking at the CPS building, go committing the crime, finding it impossible to make it back to the Jeep, and then going underneath the overpass to escape. Something along those lines, you know what I mean? Have you heard about the 2006 Jordan Sofer murder? Yes, I heard about it yesterday. 18-year-old girl found by a creek in Peru, same year that Allen moved to Delphi. Wow. I wonder if Richard Allen is the guy that we've been searching for in Bloomington and Bedford. Remember the guy that jumped out on the trails in a hoodie and a mask and tried to tie up those girls? And then one girl was actually raped. Valo. More than a dozen of the CSAM charges have been reduced and 5 dropped completely. More than half of Kagan's charges. Well, you kind of have to, because in the interview, they're like, we know these aren't all you. So that's like a slam dunk defense right there. Your lawyer goes, well, law enforcement just said that they're not all him. So which ones can you prove? Or they were able to prove who they belong to. Maybe that was Richard. Yeah, brutally unfiltered. You might be right. Brutally said the probable cause affidavit isn't going to be sealed forever, is going to be sealed forever. Maybe law enforcement is in a chase against time to make another arrest. Shit, they might even be chasing somebody, trying to protect somebody. or trying to find out who else is involved. Yeah, that coffee's kind of gross. What's up, Grizz? Touche. Case is extremely weird. The Unsolved, good question, says, so what is up with the Shaq reference now, Sleuth? I'm not sure. I mean, it could have more meaning. It could still be something. It could be legitimate. Here, let me pull something up. Give me 1 second. Come in. Thank you, baby. All right. So there's an interview where Becky and Mike Patty kind of go over some rumors, and they try to debunk them. And they ask Mike Patty specifically, did law enforcement ever clarify whether or not the bodies were moved and brought back? And this was a dump site. And that is a technical term, by the way. And he says, you know what? They never clarified that. And it seems like they weren't sure. He just felt from the information that he's gathered and being like local and knowing a lot of the law enforcement that they made it seem like that didn't happen, but they never clarified it. So let me try to find that one. It might be this Murder in My Family. So there's a podcast called Murder in My Family. Definitely
And
go
speaking
check
of
that
friends,
out. Let me see. This might be it. All right. Let's listen to this, you guys. Let me know if you can hear this or not.
sort of like the kind of friend that was there all the time, and the two were inseparable.
Well, she wasn't here all the time. They were back and forth, but because they were both very busy, and Abby was busy also in a lot of things, but she would stay here quite often. As a matter of fact, she had stayed here the night before. She had gone to Florida with us on vacation before. So yes, we had her around quite a bit. She would stay at Tara's when Libby would be at Tara's on the weekend. She'd go over there. Tara would have 10 kids at her house. So they just all had a good time.
So these are just kind of clips from a great podcast. Murder in My Family is the name of it, and he interviews Mike and Becky Patty.
And
type that in
every
online,
one
you'll
of
find it.
every one of us that was around Libby at all, her friends that came in contact with her quite frequently, we were all swabbed. Every one of us gave DNA. And it wasn't me. I didn't take Mike's DNA. FBI came. They have protocol, procedure, is how they took his.
So this is basically Becky at this point debunking some of the rumors that were going around at the time. And I guess one of the rumors was that she took Mike's DNA. Like, what? Why? That doesn't even make any sense.
His DNA. It has been out there that I'm the one that took his DNA, and that's ridiculous.
One of the things I just wanted to
Let me pause this here for a super chat by Ali H. Thank you so much. I am curious to know the exact timeline of where Richard Allen has lived in crime in all of those areas. Was it determined that the daughter went to college in Iowa? Not sure about that. I know that he's lived in Delphi for 15 years. So that means he was living there for 10 years before the murders. I know he lived in Mexico and Mexico, Indiana, and I want to say Greensboro. I mean, I looked it up. I have the information, but it's all pretty much been Indiana. Tom says, thank you again, Tom, for the super chat. I think all of the false data that the murder sheets has been given was law enforcement trying to find a leak before this arrest was made. Yeah, and that does happen. I talked to CD about that, and he said that has happened before, that they give out false information so they could try to find a leak, and maybe it was this disgruntled Mike Thomas guy. Daisy says, Richard Allen used to live in Johnson County, Indiana. Yesterday, 24 online pedos were arrested there in a sting operation. I saw that. But you guys can hear that podcast, right? I just want to double check, because we're going to get into the part where Mike talks about the bodies possibly being moved and then brought back. Yeah, I have an image of him in a Walmart uniform. You guys have probably seen it, where he's like sitting on a shelf, looking like a pedo on a shelf. Greenwood, Indiana. Thank you so much. A suburb just south of Indianapolis. Thank you for clarifying that, Brutally Unfiltered. All right, we're going to continue on. Thank you so much, Leah, for confirming the audio here. Let's go.
Ask about, maybe you know this, maybe it's something that police have chosen not to share. There was some discussion that possibly their bodies weren't there the night before when the search was happening, that they may have been put there, wound up there after the initial search. Do you know about that? Is that true or accurate?
Well, I've had nothing from the police officially telling me that, but just based on
Freckled, it's in the description
that I've collected, I have no reason to believe that they weren't there and they weren't brought back. And that's just based on the fact that I've talked to a lot of people who were involved in the search or involved in different aspects of this, and but nothing official has been said. Yeah, this is where they were. This is where they've been. They haven't been moved, because obviously until we catch the perpetrator and answer all these questions, you don't know exactly what happened.
All right, let's listen to that again.
On facts and information that I've collected, I have no reason to believe that they weren't there.
So Mike, in his opinion, knowing people that were in the search and just, communicating, being, boots on the ground from the very start, does not think that that's the case. But law enforcement hasn't told him yes or no, whether or not that's the case. He was waiting for them to catch the perpetrator to find out if that happened or not. So back to the unsolved question. If I can find it. I just want to put it on the screen for everybody. He was asking about, what do I think about the shack now? So what I was going to say is maybe part of when part of the search of the crime scene, they found maybe pieces of wood that were indicative of maybe an older barn. So they had animal hair, maybe they had a fingerprint, and then they had maybe hay or something that would be found in a barn. Maybe there was a scuff of some type of chemical or material that that's typically found in a shed or a barn or a shack, even. Who knows? Maybe there was like a rusty nail or scratch from a rusty nail or something, something that maybe it plays a part now. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting and it made me think of this interview. So there you have it. Even Mike, Patty, and the family are not sure if the bodies were taken that night. And there was a case that I watched on, I think it was Cold Case Files. They kidnapped a young girl and they actually took her out to a bridge, just like Delphi. It was I think 2007 or 2009 this happened. They kidnapped the girl. They took her to a secondary location. They tortured her. They did all the horrible stuff that these monsters do. They came out, and I think they left some shoes or something. Or no, they didn't leave the shoes yet. Well, they went out there and they searched the whole bridge area, right? And then the very next day, the killers came and dumped the body and put 2 shoes on the edge of the bridge to make it look like maybe she jumped off the bridge. So they actually came back to the very place that they just searched and used it as a dump site. So it's not out of the question. Anna says, recently Kelsey supposedly said the shack reference was just her and Carter talking about the film they had recently seen. I think when it comes to the investigation, I don't think we should be considering what the family's saying as a fact. Because you know damn well if the shack had anything to do with it, he's not going to, and Doug Carter is using it to communicate with this killer, based off some type of hidden evidence or information that they have. He's not going to tell Kelsey about it. So why would she have any clue about that? Oh, she's damn well good and married. I married her good. Evansdale is definitely back in play, in my opinion. To me, the shack was just about forgiveness. To me, it's that simple. Forgiveness. Let's go down to a super chat that just popped up here on my radar. Oh, we missed another one from Tom. I think I have known it was Richard Allen since the 2009. I think they have known it was Richard Allen since the 2019 presser, but they were missing one piece to tie it all together. The young guy sketch has his eyes and nose to it. Yes, 100%. The voice recording down the hill sounds like KK. Not after listen. I mean, it doesn't sound. It sounds like KK a little more, just the guy's part, than it did Ron Logan. But when you talk about it, really, it's just what's the word? You could expect that accent. It's regional, I guess. Shack equals shed. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they found some rusty nails, some type of old type of wood, something you would find that would indicate shed or a shack. Yeah, and it could have been about God. Maybe the signatures. That's why when they talk like that, I always thought that the signatures were just something that this killer did out of panic. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just killed these people. Let me cover them up and give them some kind of respect because now I'm panicking. Maybe I blacked out and now I'm coming to. I got to cover them. Maybe make a cross or cross their hands. Try to give them some kind of dignity. Or he was just staging them to further more of the sick fantasy. I don't know. But to give away something that's personal to you, like a religious belief at a crime scene, is not very smart. It seems more like out of panic. Yeah, that's very reckless. You remember that story? Beach Ferry? Put them right next to each other. And then the cops, they're prime suspects. They're like, okay, these are the guys that most likely did it. They went and looked at these guys, and some stupid cop was like, oh, they were locked up at the time. It's impossible. Like 15, I don't know, like 10 years later, 13 years later, they're like, these guys weren't in jail. So it could have been them. Come to find out, it was them. I mean, how are you going to feel about law enforcement in that scenario? You're not going to believe a damn word they say. And we haven't been able to verify their resume yet. You know, did they get it right or did they get it wrong? We don't know because the document is sealed. Yeah, Doug Carter was clear with Kelsey in that interview. Of course he's going to be clear, guys. There's an unknown killer on the loose. If he was talking to the killer, he's not going to come out and be like, yep, we have evidence that he was in fact in a shack. Why would he come out and do that? Kelsey's not an insider in the investigation. Thank you, Sasha. Whatever the connection to the Kleins, the legacy Abby and Libby have left is the removal of the pedos all over Indiana at the determination in all our hearts to protect kids. Yes, but what about the prevention? If you can't protect kids, Sasha, unless we learn how to prevent this and we learn to see the signs. And there may not be a way to see the signs. It may be impossible. I mean, we can't let this just be in vain. No, I haven't. Yeah, you guys got to remember that that's a playground for a lot of people that live there in Delphi. There's trails up and down there. Stas says, I believe he walked to and from the crime scene. Driving adds unnecessary risk. Well, it depends. Did he plan it? And I don't understand why. I think he may have been on foot. Yeah, I don't think it sounds like Ron Logan, but you can hear the same accent. Yeah, and the alluding to the Bible, he mentions, and also there's a book that talks about eternity. So basically, like, obviously something that you left at the crime scene states that you're a Christian. I'm thinking maybe a cross. There's something there that is telling law enforcement that this person is local and that he sounds like a Christian to me. Why would he mention the Bible, the shack? Don't underestimate anybody. But yeah, makes me think that there was another person there. Greenwood, Mexico, Peru, and Delphi. Thank you, Don't Be a Richard. And I've been looking. I haven't found anything yet. Any cases that match that MO. Missing teens, people attacked on trail systems. I haven't found anything. The only thing I was able to find was the connection over there in Bloomington and Bedford. And if you guys want to look at those live streams, they're still up. They've been up. It was the same MO, you know, women alone, hiking trails, small towns in Indiana, a guy in a blue hoodie, blue mask. One case, they were able to fight him off. Another case, he tried to tie the girl up. She took off running. One, I think, was successfully assaulted, but no DNA. So I don't know how that happens. Oh, Karen Brown, Rockaway, but look how he hopped around the bar like a spaz tweaker. That's a good point. Like he's kind of moping around, and all of a sudden he's flopping around like a fish out of water. Almost like he's got something weird built up inside, doing weird shit to kind of let it out. Avid hiker. That's right. Yeah, we saw Bill. Bill's a freaking smoker, and he was hiking all over the place that day. He hiked. He did the whole Delphi hike. He did the private drive hike. Man, he's a smoker. I don't think smoking necessarily makes you like a bad athlete. It's just not going to make you the best. 4 inches. If he's lucky. Map shows trail on the south side of the bridge going back to the highway. Yeah, you can go under that bridge. Under the railroad bridge. When asked to explain item, he says, girl's undergarment. Is that correct? That happened under the bridge? Yeah, I'm not sure. Because at about 10 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., J. Kyle Keener reported seeing girls' clothing, about 75 yards due east of the bridge. So maybe by that time, maybe he's the one that reported him. Maybe that's what they found. By the time they got to him, maybe they had reached the bridge. We're stuck in all that debris right there. Yeah, Beach Ferry. Yeah, I remember the case. Just so surprising they had the nerve to go back to the scene. Yeah, don't underestimate these people. You got to remember, these are the people that had just committed a murder. Like, how can you underestimate that person? Doesn't get more unpredictable than murder. Thank you, my wrench. Same to you. I appreciate all you guys participating in the chat, helping me honestly to figure things out. Tom with another super chat. I think the non-secular signature was something to throw investigations off. Or like you said, he had some instant remorse, and this is why Carter said, we think you have a little bit of conscience left. Exactly. He may have panicked. Strangled near Greenwood in 2006. Holy crap. I'm going to have to look that one up. I didn't see that one. Yep, non-secular, mentions the Bible, says, I think you still have a little bit of a conscience. You know, Doug's not guessing. He's not allowed to guess up there. He doesn't have that option. So when he's saying these things, he's not guessing. He might be guessing at who he's talking to, but he's not guessing on why he's saying what he's saying. So if he's saying those things, he might be trying to tell us something. You know, he's trying to tell the killer something. We may be able to decipher what he's trying to say. Yep. Yeah, it was alluded to so Carter could mention the Bible. Yeah, and I'm sure the FBI briefed him. They have behavioral analysts, you know, and they probably created a profile from the information that they had saying, I recommend using these terms. You might want to say this, or Leah is asking, Sleuth, will you do another video of the map and distance to his home, escape route, etc.? Yeah, we can cover that on Monday. I'm going to try to get my upgraded members a quick meeting at sometime this weekend. I had to cancel last night. Hey, what's up, Jerry? Glad you're here. We're going to wrap it up here in about 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm not too far off of 45, and I can still run a mile. You know, I'm still in pretty decent shape. I could easily hike 10 miles in one day. I wouldn't say easily. It'd kick my ass, but I could definitely get it done. You missed everything Unsolved. We cracked the case. Yeah, can you believe that? Like, who would risk leaving more evidence to go and use the dump site of a place that was just searched? I agree with that. I remember when I was a kid, we'd be walking, you know, through a big stretch of desert or whatever, you know, on our way to a clubhouse or just go mess around, shoot some BB guns. And if we found like a small little page of like a porno magazine or like a Playboy or something, like that piece was highly coveted. Nowadays you can just go on any phone or any computer and it's just there. So I think that these children might be like they got a lot to deal with. Let's just put it that way. Beach Fairy asks, do you think it was planned, Sleuth? Right now, I think, yeah. I still think that Kagan and a third party are involved. And I think they may have planned it. If the ski mask incident has anything to do with this, they could be extremely paranoid about something. Think about it. If you've never been arrested in your life and you're out there committing all these crimes, you may not be book smart, but if you're street smart, you might be some kind of weird idiot savant. And this guy's been able to get away for all these crimes, and all of a sudden he's over here messing with Tony Klein and Kagan Klein, and they're catfishing or they're in cahoots in some kind of peddle ring, and you got Kagan about to get him busted. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe Kagan's afraid of this guy. Maybe they went to Vegas out of fear. I don't know. But I still believe that they are connected. The cold weather would prevent a long walk, even from Delphi on the day like that. He drove there, or someone else did. I would bet on it. That day wasn't that cold. But yeah, I mean, it would have been very easy for him to walk maybe from his home to the Marathon gas station. But it's my gut telling me that from the Marathon, he was also a passenger in a vehicle, and most likely with Kagan Klein. Today's the day. My problem is, why wouldn't Doug Carter clear the family so people can stop accusing them? Well, the case is open. I mean, what kind of a dumbass would he be if he was like, yeah, they're all clear, and then a family member they haven't even been in the picture all of a sudden is part of the crime? I mean, you just don't want to step on your toes. He doesn't have the option to say, well, yeah, of course they're all cleared, because that's just not the truth. Does he suspect them? Absolutely not. But he doesn't suspect the grandmother up the street, who's lived there her entire life. But she's not cleared either. you know? Does he suspect her? Hell no. How'd the grandma do it, An 80-year-old grandmother's still not cleared. But nobody's over there accusing her. I don't know. Law enforcement, the neighbor said that they took dark colored cloth. Not sure if it was clothing or not, but it was some type of fabric. And blood, when it's dry, is like a really dark color. Yeah, and if this guy's a hiker, imagine that trail. He could be very comfortable on that trail. Wake up in the morning, right in his backyard. He has this trail system. He can walk all the way to the south end of the bridge. Could have been his morning walk. Nobody would even know if maybe he went there because it was private. Well, he's definitely a lot smaller, a lot lighter. He looks like he could carry. It looks like it's easy. I mean, it's much easier to carry 160 pounds on a smaller frame with what looks to be a stocky upper body than it is, to be, let's say, 5'10" and carrying around 300 pounds of just straight fat. It's going to make it tough. Freckle Joy says, you don't kill two girls in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon on your first kill. He has killed before. This was bold, extremely bold. That's just you unsolved. You got to get one for your car and then one for all the other places. Yeah, I mean, just according to his wife's Facebook, you can see how much hiking this guy did. And this wasn't just your easy hiking. I mean, these guys were up on top of mountains and shit. I don't know if you've ever hiked a mountain. Takes a good hour or two to get up to the top. And depending on the mountain, it could take you all day. if I lived in a place like Delphi, I'm going to try to find the secluded trails, something where I can have privacy, where I can just be by myself and walk, take the dogs, So I could easily see him just hiking in those backwoods, maybe even fishing. Yeah, Paper Pimp 2008, bringing up to Jordan. So, yeah, we're going to have to look at that case. I'm not familiar with it, but about 4 different people have mentioned it. I don't think so. I mean, why would he? If you just committed a crime, why are you going to walk all the way up to the top of a hill, have yourself be seen covered in blood, or just be seen at all, steal something from a cemetery, and then make your way back down to the crime scene? I mean, if he did that, he didn't pre-plan this. He didn't do anything. He's just out of his damn mind at this point. Yeah, I mean, Flora could have been his first time. Arson is a gateway crime. It's possible. All right, guys, we're going to hang out for about another 5 minutes, and then we're going to close it out. I want to thank everybody for their super chats, super stickers, for your participation in the chat. Let me close out this poll. Thanks for, looks like a total of 307 people participated in the poll. Is the Delphi murders hands down the strangest case ever? 42% said it's up there. 39% said yes. 16 said no. 1% said another social media experiment. Hey, what's up, Frank? Good to see you. Bill says, I was wiped out afterwards, exhausting. Yeah, thanks for doing all that. Matt H says, what do you think of the family's petition to keep the document sealed? Well, first thing I want to mention is it's not the family's petition. The family didn't create the petition to keep it sealed. They just got behind it. So anybody pushing that narrative that it's the family's petition is lying to you. It wasn't created by the family. It was created by a family friend. But I also think that the family coming out publicly in support of that is because of the backlash that was going on and the judge freaking out and, just basically the media attention in general. I think Becky Patty was attempting to relieve that, just out of the goodness of her heart. But I don't think it's something that she feels, deep down in her heart that she wants to keep this information sealed. I think she just wants people to reel it in and trying to do a little bit of damage control. But the family members did not create that. It was created by a friend of the family. Yeah, I agree with that. And it's a little upsetting that he's not cooperating. But I'm sure that's out of pure embarrassment from his family, What will those closest to you think? I mean, it sounded like Doug knew who this guy was. When they find out you murdered 2 little girls, it's like he's talking right to this guy. Yeah, non-secular, any religion. But to me, he says not only do they mention non-secular, but he also mentions the Bible, conscience, the shack. So to me, when they say non-secular, I think they're referring to a specific religion. Oh yeah, man. If this guy was high on adrenaline, knowing he's about to commit a murder, I mean, even the largest guy could do a backflip. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a street fight, but man, that high is like nothing. That adrenaline is insane. It's a pretty good mile. I can't run it that fast anymore. It's a pretty good like sprint. I'm 70 and I can run 10 yards. That's pretty good, William. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up. Sorry I couldn't catch up on all of the chat. I really apologize. I want to thank everybody who donated to the channel today, super chats, becoming members. I appreciate all of you guys. If you participated in the chat, big up to you. And anybody who's watching the replay of this Delphi morning episode, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave some comments. I'll check on it a little bit later and see if I can get to those comments.